Hello everybody, what is up? It is Stan the Man. Welcome back to another Stan the Man podcast. It is the 4th of May, 2000 and goddamn 20! In this podcast, we are going to talk about traffic jams and fat people, people's reaction to COVID-19, and also, due to popular demand, some stories from boot camp, even though I already did something like this back on SoundCloud. Anyway, let's get on with the podcast. Alright, so before we move on to the local and international news section of this podcast, May the 4th be with you. But you also have to remember, today, the 4th of May, is also the day we honor those who had fallen during the Second World War. Now, in local news, the island of Aruba is slowly easing its lockdown measures that have been imposed since March. Now, life is slowly returning back to normal, but churches, the people who run the churches are apparently a little bit mad because churches are not allowed to open yet, okay, because they fall underneath the same categories as nightclubs. They don't fall underneath the same category. They're not the same as nightclubs. They're a place of mass gatherings, all right? In this case, Jesus said, shut the fuck up and stay inside. Now, the cops apparently got... Shit. I forgot about this. Now, apparently, on Sunday morning, the cops are called due to a domestic dispute between a dude and his mom. Now, I saw a picture of this fucker. The dude looks like he's fucking 40. All right? Wait, let me look at this again. Oh no, never mind. He looks like he's 30, but he looks like one of those fake gangsters. You know, the ones who just sit underneath the kiwi trees and talk a lot of smack all day and can barely fucking afford gas. They fucking boast about freaking success. They post inspirational quotes. And they always have on their fucking Facebook profile, they're standing with some kind of Adidas hat, but it's always like slanted to the side, okay? They can afford that, but they're living on welfare. Yep, very gangster of you, good sir. But apparently this dude has had problems with his mom before. And they called the cops on him again this time. But this time, apparently, he laid hands on her and... Sorry, I'm rereading the script as I'm doing this. She broke her fucking phone. Oh my freaking God. Now, in international news, now this cannot be confirmed at the moment of writing this because, well, okay, now it can't be fucking confirmed. Venezuelan media states that there has been a failed amphibious attack by Colombian guerrillas. Now, I think the damn thing might have been staged. I forgot to put my phone on silence. I am a dumbass. This podcast is a mess. I'm a mess, as you can clearly fucking tell. I'm not gonna cut this out. I'm not gonna do this take. I am fucking tired. I'm gonna yeet my phone onto the bed. Let's see if you can hear this shit. Yeet! Landed on the pillow. Alright. Now, to be honest, back to the whole, like, fake invasion of Venezuela thing. I honestly think that this was actually staged by the Venezuelan government in order to try to build support, or at least to have like some sort of legitimate reason to increase military aggression or their military activity through the region. So yeah, as someone who lives literally a hop and a skip away from Venezuela, and a member of the military, I genuinely hope this thing doesn't fucking escalate for no damn reason whatsoever. Also, Mother Russia, has reported 10,000 cases in the past 24 hours, and experts are still fearing a peak on the way. Now, remember, you went on social media or you went on the news, you always see Vladimir Putin fucking walking around in a hazmat suit, going to meetings in hazmat suits. This dude does not give a fuck. All right, and even though I'm pretty sure he's done some horrible fucking things, I strive to be like this man. I strive to reach that level of not giving a fuck. Oh man. Now, the supreme leader lives, as there was a small exchange of gunfire between North and South Korea a couple of days ago. Literally just days after Kim Jong-un finally made like a public appearance, because apparently the whole fucking internet thought this dude was dead. They memed the fuck out of it. I'm gonna be honest, those memes are spicy. Like, there was There was this one meme I saw on Facebook, and it was like this dude. I don't know. He was like on this weird harness thing that just launches, just carries him across a room, and he's just like dangling, and the title says, "North Korea be like, here comes our great and glorious leader." He just see this dude just swaying in the breeze. Oh man, but like I can't imagine that things are going great, and then all of a sudden there was an exchange between the South and North Koreas. Between what the fuck am I talking about, Stan? Talk between the two Koreas at the demilitarized zones. Okay, Seoul said the shots from the north hit a guard post, and they subsequently returned fire and issued a warning. Now, let's just hope. Now you got to remember, the two Koreas, they are still technically at war. They've never signed a peace treaty. Okay, they are still technically at war, but they're basically in like a long ceasefire. They're going through a divorce, but they can't make the decision. They're staying together for the kids. All right, let's move on. All right, now, as I mentioned during the previous podcast, okay, life slowly might be returning to normal here on Aruba. The government is slowly easing up on the lockdown measures imposed since March, and people are slowly starting to come out of their houses. Today, I took my uncle out to there are these places where you can do like the calisthenic exercises, like these bars and stuff like that near the DV Hotel, and I took my uncle there, and I was amazed to see the amount of people like outside. Though it is nice seeing people, more and more people taking this time, taking this opportunity to actually do something about their health, taking control of their health, okay? Finding ways to make their bodies be better, okay, through outdoor exercise. It's actually nice. It's actually a good step forward, I'm not gonna lie. But of course, humanity in general always finds a way to disappoint me. Not, but oh man, like one thing I fucking do not miss are one thing, like the main thing that I don't miss at all are traffic jams. I fucking hate traffic jams. Like, and the worst part about traffic jams, there's literally nothing you can do. It's not like I can fucking say fuck it, like step out of my car and fucking walk to where I have to go. That's not gonna work. So I just have to sit there and make sure I don't fucking trigger the goddamn airbags. But oh man, this day, hang on, I got fucking gas. Come on. Yeah, it's coming out. There we go. All right, so on this day in general, I remember I was heading back to work. Now, this was a good week ago. Now, during this time, due to the whole COVID-19 situation, okay, we all had to work 12-hour shifts, okay? So it's basically just back to back to back 12-hour shifts. And at that point, I was going 36 hours, no fucking sleep. So I wasn't exactly in the best of fucking moods. I'm going to tell you this right now. So I'm coming back from work, and I take the road via Santa Cruz to head back to my home, like every time. Like I rarely take a detour. I take the same damn road every time I head back from work. So I'm on my way back, and I see this traffic jam. And this traffic jam started at like Traibike, just to give you an idea. For those who live on Aruba, just to give you an idea, it started at Traibike, all right? So of course, I'm thinking we're in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. There is no reason, literally no fucking reason for anybody to be outside. So to prevent myself from fucking bursting a blood vessel or fucking screaming like a goddamn ballsack, I start thinking logically. I'm like, all right, Stan, just calm down for a little bit. Obviously, there is no reason for anybody else to be outside. Most of the people in this traffic jams are essential workers like you trying to head back home or trying to head to work, all right? So, all things considered, it has to be an accident. It has to be some sort of accident. It has to be some kind of car crash or something blocking the road. So, I fucking grit my teeth and just oh man, it was like gridlock traffic. It looked like a scene. It looked like a fucking apocalypse movie. People are fucking honking and shit. Like, nope, no, I can't fucking honk anyway. My car horn doesn't work. So I'm just fucking sitting there thinking, oh man, this accident must be really fucking bad for it to fucking block traffic like this. I couldn't have been more wrong. All right, so. I couldn't have been more fucking wrong. The traffic jam was being blocked because people were trying to get in the drive-thru for a Taco Bell. Like, fucking hell. Like, the drive-through was fucking full. Like, there is no way anybody else could fit in there, yet people are just waiting for like a little bit of space so they can actually get in, and it caused like this gridlock traffic jam. And I look over to the other side of the street, it's the same thing. It's the same traffic jam, but it's happening in the other fucking direction, and people are getting mad. I'm fucking pissed off because at this point, like, whatever fucking faith in humanity I had was just gone at that point. Was it like none of these people could have just stayed at home and fucking cook? Oh, and cherry on top of the fucked up cake, I get cut off. All right, this freaking Tercel, this freaking Toyota Yaris that looked like it was being held together by duct tape, slowly cut me off, and you see this huge fucking sticker that says Jesus is my fucking co-pilot on it. Oh my freaking god. And I see the person driving, and it's really one of the fattest human beings I ever seen in my goddamn life. And I know you're not allowed to make fun of fat people. You're not allowed to say anything bad about fat people, but I will say a lot of bad things about this fat cunt who cut me off. Like, I have the right of way. She can't just fucking drive in front of me. So of course I roll down the window. So I roll down the window. I fucking did it again. I roll down the window and I tell her, ma'am, you can't cut me off. I have the right of way. What are you doing? And she literally says, like this freaking elephant of a human being, just says, I'm hungry, fuck you. Like her exact fucking words. So at that point, I'm like, all right, cool. I could basically just start screaming at her. Like, my first reaction was to just scream, oh, you're hungry? Well, shove some fucking salad down your goddamn throat instead of filling your cunt with fucking Taco Bell. Jesus. But I didn't do it. But I didn't do it. I just examined this lady, try to imagine her fucking past, okay? She must have been prom queen during high school or some shit, and eventually, I don't know, had 3 or 4 kids she never really wanted, alright? Went from elegant to elephant, and now here we are. She's taking her frustrations down on me. A 22-year-old. Fuck, I forgot my own goddamn age. A 22-year-old. So who the fuck am I to judge? My freaking god, man. Just, oh man. Like, clear. Like, lady, like, there's a sticker that says, Jesus is my co-pilot. Well, he sure as shit ain't your goddamn nutritionist. That's for fucking sure. Oh man, but look, I'm dead serious here. Like, it's one thing to be cut off by that, but it's also one thing to get fucking yelled at. For being I was completely right. I had the right of way. She had no right to just cut me off like that. But still, fuck it. I shut my mouth, let her go fill her body with poison, and I just keep on going. Oh no, I call it poison now. The thing is, I love Taco Bell. Like one of the few things me and my brother have in common, we fucking love Taco Bell. I would die for a chalupa. But that whole fucking experience made me want to fucking, like, set the building on fire and lock the damn door. Oh god, that's pretty bad. No, I think I might have to, I think I genuinely have to go see someone about that. Like the murderous thoughts that I have when that type of shit happens. I get road rage standing behind people at the supermarket. Imagine actual fucking, I'm hitting the table like I'm Alex John or some shit. I forgot the fucking name. The dude who's on InfoWars. Like, oh, I get road rage standing behind people, but I know you can't be angry in public. You cannot be angry or screaming at people or yelling at people at that moment because it's not productive for both of you. All right, I've learned the hard way when it comes to those situations. You basically have to take the emotion out of the equation because otherwise, either I'm gonna say some shit I'm gonna regret, or I'm gonna do something I'm gonna regret. Oh man, I think I need therapy. I think I definitely need therapy. Alright, okay. Now, something else that's been, like, really bothering me. I mean, like, genuinely bothering me. Or, like, this fucking stupid shit. that I've been seeing on Facebook. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm actually seriously considering like to delete my Facebook. Now, the sad thing is, the people who post these types of shit, most of them I know, most of them I grew up with. Like, I've seen them. Some of them are really smart people, and to just watch them be just persuade by these dumb, like, let me give you an example. All right, there are these marketplaces pages, right? There are these marketplace pages where you can actually go on and post something that you want to sell, or you can actually see what people have up for sale. And some people, they just use that as a platform to fucking I don't know, just broadcast their church. And sometimes they would post like these fucking live streams like, oh man, angels in the sky, God is real, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, go fuck yourself, exclamation point. Like, they would also like put these fake ass live streams with these fucking awful CG looking alien invasion type shit. And I'm thinking, there's no fucking way people actually believe this shit is real. As I mentioned before, humanity just continues to fucking disappoint. Like, at this point, I shouldn't be even surprised. In fact, I should be like impressed. They have an excellent track record of disappointing me in general. Like, Facebook is for memes. Like, literally nothing else. Like, I know most of us have fucking nothing to do, but fucking hell. Like, why do people believe this shit so seriously? It always starts like this. It always starts like, I've been doing my own research, and I know this guy who knows his sister, who fucks the mailman even though she's married, who fucks another mailman even though he's also married. Oh my fucking god. Like, the minute it starts like that, you can't fucking trust it. Like, I'm really happy to know that, okay, like, I'm not smart. I'm not smart at all. In fact, I'm one of the dumbest people I know. But I do know a lot of things. But I also know this much. I also know that everything you know, everything you see, and everything you hear, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Like, don't these people actually try to confirm the news sources? Like, the whole debacle that Venezuela made about people like doing a failed amphibious attack or a failed amphibious invasion of Venezuela. Of course, people start fucking freaking out, but this is what I do, all right? If I would look at one major news source like the BBC, all right? If multiple news outlets start reporting on the same thing, okay, I set up a criteria, okay? Do they have the same time? Do they have the same place? Do they have the same circumstances, okay? So if multiple news sources are reporting on the same thing and the information aligns with that criteria, okay, it's easy to assume that this event actually happened. So we can actually confirm this event is not fake, it hasn't been exaggerated. So for the first few hours after like hearing about this shit, like, I saw it on a friend's Facebook profile. Like, he literally just posted it like, oh my god, the war started, Like, for those who don't know, Aruba's been most people here in Aruba have been paranoid with a war between Venezuela and the United Nations for a very, and I mean very long time. Like, this is like way before this is like during the time of Hugo Chavez. Like, there was a whole fucking thing. I'm not gonna get into it, but just know some high-level politician got arrested, was sent here, and some shit went down. I'm not gonna get into it, but my fucking god, why do people believe the things that they see so quickly? Like, do they have nothing to do? Okay, do they need a distraction from what can arguably be a mundane life? Like, unless you're a fucking base jumper, you jump off cliffs every day. Like, to be honest, we all live really mundane lives. We are born, we eat, we shit, we fuck, we die. That's what I think. At the end of the day, what matters is survival. But in that tiny hyphen between the words birth and death, okay, between those two things, okay, that's where we actually have to form our legacy. And I think people are trying way too hard to actually leave a legacy behind. Okay, now this brings me into another topic, and this brings me into like another discussion. Now, it's the same thing where people, the fear of the unknown. People like to think they have answers to everything. Like, I know a lot of shit, but I don't know the answers to everything. I know, like, one thing I do know, every single person around you, no matter how fucking smart you are, knows something you don't. All right? So, okay, take for example, okay, the fear of the unknown. This is where I think religions first started out, or at least believing in an afterlife. People were so when we started to develop consciousness, we started to ask ourselves these really complicated philosophical questions. Okay, a question that we've been asking ourselves for literally millennia is what happens when we die. To be honest, nobody, not even science, has come up with a clear, straight up answer. Like, to be honest, this is just me. I think when you die, you're just dead. You're just gone. Like, do you remember anything from before you were born? I think the same thing starts there. And most people can't wrap their heads around that. They cannot begin to comprehend the very concept of non existence, the very concept of oblivion, okay? It is the unknown. So they start believing in something else, something more tangible, something they can actually grasp, see, and understand. So most people started believing in an afterlife. Most people started believing in reincarnation. Most people started believing in what's that thing? Trans multi-dimensional theory. Most people started believing, like, I forgot what in quantum mechanics you have this thing called quantum entanglement. So when you die due to quantum entanglement, the particles that have been generated by your consciousness, okay, they just start somewhere else. That's a bit of a stretch. I think I have to do a little bit. I think I have to like start like reading a bit more about quantum mechanics to actually start figuring out that. But like people, I think to be honest, why most people why Facebook and just nearly why not only Facebook, just nearly every social media site that I can think of. I think the main reason why it's just being flooded by people posting this fake ass shit, people are scared. And when you're scared, you're honestly gonna look for some type of scapegoat. You're honestly gonna look to whatever kind of answers you can find. Okay, when you get people to their lowest point, they are open to the most change. Okay, but sometimes that change isn't good. Like sometimes that change can leave you down, and leave a fucking deeper hole, like a fucking rabbit hole. Like I mentioned this in the previous podcast during the whole protest, the COVID-19 protests in New York. There was this one lady. She apparently in her free time she took the time to actually do some research on the Illuminati, the Masons. Like she honest to the point where she believes that they control the air, they control the virus. Now, this is what I think. I think this is just one big Ponzi scheme. Like, I'm into conspiracy theories, but not like that big of a conspiracy. Like, I honestly believe that they didn't release this virus. I honestly think that they knew the economy was gonna crash anyway for one reason or another, and now coincidence, coincidence, they spotted this new virus in China, and they said, "Fuck it, let it burn through." Because if this becomes a pandemic, if this becomes a fucking pandemic, we'll have a scapegoat. What's that called again? Okay, there was this book I read a couple of weeks ago. If I forgot the name of the author, and it's part of a larger series of the Inserto Incurto series, and this book is called Skin in the Game. And in that book, the author talks about this thing called the Rob Rubin Effect, or the Bob Rubin Effect. Basically, when someone takes a risk but transfer the consequences of that risk to someone else. For example, if a government fails to lead a people, the people, the taxpayers, they are the ones who suffer the consequences. The government, they just take the fucking money and run, because legal system. It's the same thing with bankers. All right, we still have to pay the banker. We still have to pay bankers. We still have to pay the bank loans. Okay, and they get off scot-free. That's another example of the I forgot the fucking name of it. So it's kind of like a risk transfer kind of thing. So, and I think that's what's happening right now. No fucking Mason type shit. But I think it depends, not the level of education, but how a lot of people have been brought up. Like, people need to see something in order to believe it, and they can't see the virus. Okay, they don't see this type of thing happening. And since most of us haven't seen this type of thing happen before, it becomes hard for us to grasp the situation and observe it through another lens. Okay, it becomes intangible, unobtainable, unknown. When something becomes unknown, we become fearful of it. Like, the fear of the unknown, like the fear of what's in the dark, like made the turn. The fear of what lies in the dark eventually led us to discover fire and start using it, and eventually led us to fucking create the goddamn light bulb. And here we are, doing this type of shit. Nah, man, but I really hope people fucking get their shit together. It's not the end of the world. The world's been through worse. Humanity might end, but the world will just keep on going, like it or not. There will come a time where you will die, and everything you've ever done will literally mean nothing at all. And I'm okay with that. But most people can't bear the thought of it. Well, that got fucking depressing, didn't it? Nah, but what a lot of people have also been doing during this time is just reminisce about good old days and stuff like that. So we're moving on to the next topic, okay? Like, literally right after I posted this podcast, what I got a message from a friend saying, "Hey man, you should totally do some more boot camp stories." And I remember back when I posted these podcasts on SoundCloud, I did a section where I talked about boot camp stories, but I only told like one story, and I didn't actually like talk about the whole boot camp process, especially for those who want to join the Aruban branch of the Dutch military. Okay, feel free to do it. I still have no regrets. Sure, I'll bitch and complain about the job because no job's perfect, but at the end of the day, I fucking love this job. I really do. I got no fucking regrets joining up. It has taught me things, and I gotta take a shit. I'll be right back. And we're back. Nah, but a friend of mine told me to actually start doing some boot camp stories. So, all right. Now, first things first, the first month is the worst to me, to be honest. The first month for me was the absolute worst because every boot camp is different. Every AMV is handled differently in different ways. They always add stuff or remove stuff like that. Now, the first month, we literally lived in a tent. No phones, we had no idea what was going on in the outside world. Like, there was this mass shooting. There was a mass shooting. I didn't find out about that shit until I got back home for the first weekend. Literally, anything that happened on the outside, we were completely unaware of it. And some guys even compared it to prison. Now, but the first month is literally designed to beat the civilian mentality out of you. All right? If you don't like the rain, if you don't like getting wet, if you don't like losing sleep, you are going to fucking hate the first month. All right? And I remember the first week, 2 guys quit. The first week, after the first week, they just called. We were getting ready for bed, right? And they called us up in formation and stuff like that. And they take anyone in attendance and stuff like that. And if you had any questions, you raise your arm. Okay, and they said, "Yep." We got one dude. He said, "Nah, Sergeant, I want to go home. This isn't for me." And then another guy, the same thing. "No, Sergeant, I want to go home. This isn't for me." I'm just sitting there like, fuck. It's only the first week. We already have 2 guys going. Like, no fucking way. How the hell am I supposed to survive? How am I supposed to survive 9 months of this shit? All right, so it goes on by. You learn the basics. You learn how to handle your weapons. You learn basic exercises. Okay, you don't get you learn your infex, your infantry exercises. Okay, how to move. All right, you basically learn how to be members of the military. This is where the civilian dies and where the Marine is born. They literally break you down and start building you back up bit by bit by breaking you some more. That's the only way I could describe it. Like, one memory that sticks out in my head was it was my birthday. Yeah, it was my birthday. And fucking it's funny when I think about it now. Now, it was October 13th on a Saturday, and it was like 4 a.m. in the morning. I'd completely forgotten that it was my birthday at this point. I didn't even know it was my birthday at that point, and apparently they told us to get out in formation in our overalls and helmet, because already something went wrong. I still, to this day, I still do not know the whole story behind it. Apparently some dude said some cuss word or some shit, and you're not allowed to fucking do that, especially within earshot of the instructors. That is a recipe for disaster. So, oh man, and we're standing. It's raining. It's thundering. There's lightning. There's wind. We're in the middle of a goddamn storm, right? And the instructors, they're just calmly putting down 4 barrels, and we're just waiting. We're just waiting patiently, like in quiet fear. We're all waiting for our fate, right? And then my buddy Cruz, he's next to me, right? And the realization hits him like a fucking truck. He goes, "Oh no, we're gonna have to fucking crawl around those things." And at that very moment, I remembered it was my birthday. I'm like, "Oh no, man, oh, man. Don't do this, Sarge, Corporal, don't do this, man. It's my birthday, man." I'm like thinking that, like, no, please don't tell me we're gonna have to do this. Please don't tell me. I'm praying to a fucking higher power that I don't even believe in. Fucking please don't make us do this. Come on, don't. Oh man, guess what we did for the next hour? I think, yeah, it was about 90 minutes. Dude, eventually the initial layer of mud was gone, and you're basically just crawling on rocks, and I remember the undersides of my wrists were just shredded. I lost my watch. The guy in front of you, okay, if he slows down, he accidentally kicks you in the fucking face. The guy behind you, if he's tired, he grabs onto your fucking foot, so you start dragging him a bit. Oh man, so come on, hold on to me, I got you, brother. Okay, fuck off, get off. Oh man, but that was the worst. And then, but at the end of the day, it has a happy ending. But that day, I came so fucking close to quitting. Yeah, I was so fucking close to quitting on my birthday of all days. Like, we didn't even get a shower. They basically they made us hose each other down and dry off. So I still had mud in my fucking undies for the rest of the damn day. And I remember this, so a buddy of mine, he's hosing me down, like, "No, tonight I'm gonna quit. If they ask us tonight, I am gonna quit." And then we're outside this it's like a palapa type thing, but it's where we get lessons on how to handle our weapons. So we're out there, and they just line us up in formation, like, "Ah, fuck, what do we do now?" And then they said, "Okay, no, there's a birthday today." And I look around. I remember I told one of my buddies it was going to be my birthday. I completely forgotten about it. And I didn't want people to know that it was my fucking birthday. At first, I cursed myself, and I looked at him like, "You fucker." So, all right, Trump, get up here. I'm like, no, I'm not getting up there. "All right, Trumpy, get up here." Okay, so I go up front, and they sang happy birthday to me and stuff like that. And it cheered me up. So I'm like, okay, fuck it. One more week. And then, if I don't change my mind, I'll quit. And in the week, I changed my mind. Like, fuck it. No, I fell in love with the military during that boot camp. I'm not gonna fucking lie. So I decided to stay. Another thing, you're gonna go through, oh man, the BVOCs. BVOCs, they're actually really fun. They're basically camping trips on steroids. Now, but they're field weeks. Basically, you spend a week in enemy territory, in the woods, pretty much. Okay, so you start learning how to move. You start learning how to move in enemy territory, how to be unseen. You start learning the basics of camouflage, the basics of silhouettes, how to spot enemies. You learn how to use a map, compass, how to calculate a course, how to chart a course, how to figure out a grid or a certain 8-digit coordinates, taking into effect declination of the map, all sorts of cool things. I even have some of the map. They're still hanging on my wall, even though we weren't supposed to take them home. No, but you learn a lot of handy skills. Like, I know people who don't even know how to work with the GPS, let alone a paper map and compass. Man, but it's awesome. And also, you learn that you are capable of doing a lot more than you think. And this is when the marches happen, the rucks, the humping. Now, the Marines of the United Kingdom and the Dutch Marines, they are known were walking long distances with over 40 kilos on their backs, sometimes more. And oh boy, those fucking hard. I remember. My middle toe on my left foot. We had just rucked 25 kilometers for the first time. No, not 25 kilometers. We rucked 18 kilometers for the first time, right? And it was through like fucking awful terrain. And I remember I bumped my boot on something, and like, fuck it, no. Like, eventually your feet, they start to swell up the more you walk, and every hour you take a 10-minute break, put your shit back on, and they set a pace that, oh man, they set a pace that makes you want to die. Like, literally, sometimes you just want to die, alright? Because the Crusader are fucking rucks, okay? They're full of shit, and if you don't strap yourself in or pack that shit in properly, it can bear all the way down on your legs. It can bear the weight all the way down on your shoulders, preventing you from breathing properly. Like, my God, like, I remember we were like walking by the coastline, and on our left side there were like these cliffs, right? And I'm like thinking, I could just jump off right now and nobody could stop me. But hey, seriously, and like afterwards, when we finished up our hike, our march and stuff like that, so we go to bed, and I take off my boot for like the first time, like the whole day. I take off my boot and I check all my toes, and I noticed like my middle toe, it was like painful, but not overly painful. I literally just applied the smallest amount of force, and the toenail just slothed off. Just shoop. It didn't hurt. What made me scared was it didn't hurt. It didn't bleed. It just shoop. Am I gonna fucking die? Oh man, but you have some fun. I should like do a section where we talk. You have some fun too. Like eventually you're gonna reach a point where you get the weekends off, and depending if you didn't fuck up or not, and oh man, when you're alone the first time, oh man, there are plenty of stories of Drunk Stan out there. Drunk Stan left a mark in Curacao, so that's why Drunk Stan is not allowed to resurface. But I'll be sure to actually make a segment on drunk stories from boot camp in the next podcast. In the meantime, thanks for listening. Stay home, stay inside, stay safe. This is Stan the Man, signing off.